In the 16th century, a Turkish admiral named Piri Reis created a map, but this was no ordinary map. It was a document so accurate, so impossible, that it continues to confound researchers more than 500 years later. It shows the coastlines of the Americas with stunning precision. It depicts mountain ranges that were unknown to European explorers at the time, and most impossibly, it charts the landmass of Antarctica, a continent that wouldn't be officially discovered for another 300 years. But it doesn't just show Antarctica. It shows it without its ice cap. The question isn't just how an Ottoman admiral knew of Antarctica's existence. The question is how he knew what it looked like beneath a layer of ice more than a mile thick, a geographic reality that hasn't existed for over 6,000 years. How did an ancient cartographer, with the tools of his time, manage to draw the shape of a world he could have never seen? This isn't just a map that breaks the rules of history. It's a map that suggests history as we know it is wrong. The greatest enigma of the Piri Reis map is its depiction of Queen Maud Land, a region of Antarctica buried under kilometers of ice. For thousands of years, this land has been completely hidden from view. To map its true coastline, you would need technology capable of penetrating that immense ice sheet. Modern science only accomplished this in the mid-20th century, using seismic echo sounding and satellite-based ground-penetrating radar. Yet here it is on a parchment map drawn in 1513. The subglacial topography is laid out with an accuracy that seems to defy all explanation. How could ancient sources have possessed this knowledge? To chart this coastline would require a vantage point from the air, or a technology we believe is entirely modern. The map doesn't just suggest this, it practically screams it. It forces us to confront a chilling possibility that someone long ago saw Antarctica without its ice. And the Antarctic coastline is just the beginning of the mystery. The map's portrayal of the American continents is equally unsettling. North and South America are shown with a level of detail that is frankly impossible for the era. The coastlines are precisely rendered, including regions that European explorers had not yet documented in 1513. The Andes mountain range in South America is correctly placed. Even major rivers, like the Amazon, are depicted originating deep within the continent's interior. Mainstream scholars have often dismissed these features as lucky guesses or coincidences, a blend of early explorer reports and fantasy. But when you overlay the Piri Reis map with modern topographic data, the alignment is too consistent, too accurate to be mere chance. The precision goes far beyond coincidence, suggesting not a guess, but a copy of something far older and far more advanced. So where did Piri Reis get his information? He actually tells us. In notes written directly on the map, the admiral explains that his work is not original. He claims he compiled it from around 20 different source maps, what he called ancient charts. Some of these charts, he wrote, were contemporary, drawn by explorers like Christopher Columbus. But others, he insisted, were far more ancient, dating back to the time of Alexander the Great, and even earlier. He described them as originating from civilizations that predated the known empires of Greece, Egypt, and Sumer. These source maps are now lost to time, vanished from the historical record. But if Piri Reis was telling the truth, it implies the existence of a highly advanced cartographic tradition, a global mapping project conducted by a civilization long erased from our memory. a civilization that knew the true shape of the world thousands of years before we did. One of the greatest challenges for early cartographers was the problem of longitude. To accurately map east-west distances on a global scale, you need a precise way to measure time. This requires an incredibly accurate clock, a marine chronometer, an instrument that wasn't invented until the 18th century. Before its invention, maps were notoriously distorted, with continents stretched or squashed. Yet the Peary Race map plots the distances between Africa and South America with a level of longitudinal precision that should have been impossible. It's as if the original map makers possessed a tool or a method that, according to our historical timeline, simply should not have existed. This wasn't just a good map for its time. It was a map that seemed to operate on a different technological level entirely, hinting at a lost science of geography and navigation. The anomalies found on the Peary Race map are not unique. As researchers began to look closer at other ancient charts, a disturbing pattern emerged. Maps like the Orontius Phineas map of 1531 also show an ice-free Antarctica, complete with rivers and coastlines. The Mercator map of 1569 includes similar details. These cartographers, like Peary Race, claimed to be using ancient sources. Some of these maps display sophisticated projection techniques, like accurate polar projections, which require advanced mathematics. They show coastlines that align not with today's sea levels, but with sea levels from the last ice age, over 10,000 years ago. Taken together, these clues point toward a staggering conclusion: a global surveying project undertaken by a civilization capable of long-distance sea travel and advanced mathematics at a time we call prehistory. Who were these prehistoric cartographers? The map itself may hold a clue. Across its surface are symbols and notes that echo patterns found in geographically distant and chronologically separate cultures. There are resemblances to motifs from ancient Egypt, from Mesopotamia, and even from the civilizations of Mesoamerica. It's as if the mapmaker, Peary Race, was drawing from a fragmented but shared ancient source, the remnants of a global repository of knowledge. This suggests the work of a single, widespread civilization, a culture with a global reach that connected continents long before established history says it was possible. A mother culture whose legacy was scattered across the ancient world, preserved in fragments like this impossible map. This story takes an even darker turn in the mid-20th century, when Professor Charles Hapgood and his students began a systematic analysis of the map in the 1950s. Their work attracted official attention. Hapgood corresponded with the United States Air Force, who confirmed that the map's details aligned with modern seismic profiles of the subglacial Antarctic continent. But shortly after, the public discussion went silent. Some researchers involved were reportedly told to cease publishing their conclusions. Certain findings were allegedly classified by military and intelligence agencies due to their geographic and strategic implications. This raises a deeply troubling question. Why would a 500-year-old piece of parchment be considered a matter of national security in the 20th century? What did they find on that map that was so sensitive it needed to be suppressed? When confronted with evidence like the Peary Race map, mainstream academia tends to look away. The possibilities it presents are too disruptive to the established timeline of human history. The first possibility is that a forgotten, highly advanced civilization mapped the entire world during the last ice age, long before Sumeria or Egypt. Another is that ancient explorers whose journeys are lost to us had circumnavigated the globe and possessed technologies we cannot explain. A third theory suggests that this knowledge was never truly lost, but preserved in secret by esoteric groups, passed down through the millennia. Perhaps the map is the last tangible remnant of a prehistoric global network that connected humanity in an age we have completely forgotten. Because none of these explanations fit the conventional narrative, they are often labeled pseudoscience and dismissed without serious investigation. The evidence, however, remains, so we are left with the final, unanswered questions. How did ancient people chart a world they shouldn't have known existed? Where did the lost source charts that Piri Reis used actually come from? And who was it that created the original surveys thousands of years before the beginning of recorded history? The map exists. It is a physical object you can see and touch. It is its explanation that does not. It is a piece of forbidden history, a crack in the official story of our past, inviting us to wonder what else we have been told is untrue. If you're ready to uncover more stories that challenge the official record, subscribe to the True Story Files, and let us know in the comments what you believe this ancient map truly reveals about our forgotten past.